Hello and good morning. Welcome to class 865. Okay, man, we are progressing every day a new class, every day an additional class. Someday we'll reach 1,000, but let's not worry about that now. Let's continue with our translation booklet where we left off yesterday on page 358, number 14. Él, un amigo mío, él no durará mucho en ese puesto. He won't last long in that job. He won't last long in that job. Yes. He's not qualified for that job. It was a mistake for the company to promote him to that job. He won't last long in that job. Yes, he won't last long. That's very common in football. Un nuevo entrenador de un equipo como el Real Madrid, no durará mucho en ese puesto de entrenador. He won't last long. He won't last long in that job. Él no durará mucho. He won't last long. Beethoven fue el último, esto no es verdad, ¿eh? Beethoven fue el último de 13 hijos. Beethoven was the last of 13 children. Not true. Beethoven was the last of 13 children. La madre no quería al niño. O sea, no quería tenerlo. The mother didn't want the child. Por eso want. No quería al niño, said the mother didn't love. No amaba, no quería al niño. No quería el niño. No sé cómo decirlo. How do you say that? La madre no quería al niño. In Spanish, the mother didn't love the child. Así. No amaba al niño. No quería al niño. Pero si la madre no quiere que nazca el niño, what do you say? No quería al niño o el niño? I don't know. There's a problem with Spanish there, I think. En este caso no quería que tener un niño más. Number 13, bad luck. The mother didn't want the child. Pues menos mal que sobrevivió. It's a good thing he survived. It's a good thing. Menos mal que Marta está aquí. It's a good thing Marta's here. Menos mal que funcionan las luces. It's a good thing that the lights work. Yeah, menos mal que no he perdido la voz esta semana. It's a good thing I haven't lost my voice today. Menos mal que tengo esos lápices. Si no, imagina. It's a good thing I have these pencils. Lately, I haven't used the pencils very often. But you remember about 400 classes ago, these pencils were an integral part of almost every class. Yes, the things you can do with these pencils, with a little bit of ingenuity, ingenio, with a little bit of ingenuity and creativity, you can use these pencils to teach a lot of things. Yeah, I remember one person in the street stopped me. He said, Señor Richard. He said, Señor Richard. Le veo todas las mañanas. And he said, now I know the difference between and among. Para entre. Because what I did was, I had the orange pencil. Yeah. The orange pencil is between the other pencils. It's between this group of pencils and this group of pencils. Now, the orange pencil is among all the pencils. You understand? So among is entre la multitud. Y between is equidistante, más o menos. So, and he said, finally, I understand the difference between and among. And thanks to the pencils. So, menos mal que tengo estos lápices. It's a good thing. Contracción obligatoria. Al tratarse de una expresión hecha. It's a good thing. Claro, significa literalmente es una buena cosa. Pero se tiene que decir con esa entonación. Como diríais aquí, menos mal, un poco de alivio. Menos mal que funcionan las luces hoy, porque ayer. It's a good thing. It's a good thing the lights are working today. It's a good thing. Menos mal que sobrevivió Beethoven, ¿no? It's a good thing he survived. Yeah. Tú sabes mucho, ¿eh? You know a lot. Yeah. Mucho más de lo que tú puedes imaginar. Much more than you can imagine. Much more than you can imagine. Hay problemas que resolver, eh? There are problems to solve. Oh yeah, there are problems to solve. Hey Richard, do you have any problems? No, I don't have any problems, I think. I have a few matters I need to deal with. I have a few matters I need to attend to, but I don't consider them problems. Asuntos, no problemas. Okay. Aquí se dice mucho problema cuando es un asunto. Yeah. I have several matters I need to deal with or attend to. Hay problemas que resolver. There are problems to solve. Hay cartas que escribir. There are letters to write. Hay trabajo que hacer. There's work to do. Se dice más, there's work to be done. Curioso. Se dice más que there's work to do. Hay trabajo que hacer, ¿eh? Manos a la obra. Hay trabajo que hacer. There's work to do. Perfect. Pero solemos decir más, there's work to be done. Hay trabajo a ser hecho. O sea, hacerse. There's work to be done, there's work to do. Hay haces. ¿Qué haces para matar el tiempo? What do you do to kill time? To kill time. En inglés también matamos el tiempo. No, so not only in Spanish. We kill time. Poor time. All right. What do you do to kill time? No mucho. Not much. Not much. Depende de los tipos de interés. Wow, vaya cambio. It depends on the interest rates. It depends on the interest rates. Rates, que es tasa o tipo. Tasa de natalidad is the birth rate. Tasa de mortalidad is the death rate. Ahora, tipo de interés is the interest rate. La misma palabra, rate. So, we have finished another program. We have finished another list. Yes, I am so looking forward to finishing this book. I'm tired of this book. I think Marta's tired of this book too. Marta wants me to create new characters. Yeah. Do you remember Luigi Barghini, the Italian businessman? Marta says, tienes que crear nuevos personajes. Como ese mafioso. He's not a mafioso. Maybe he looks like one, huh? But he's not. He's the owner of a car seat factory in ¿dónde era? Bologna. I think in Bologna, no? No. It's an important city in the north of Italy. Oh, Verona. It's in Verona. The factory is on the outskirts of Verona. All right, Verona. All right. And that's Luigi Barghini, and he has two children. Roberto. And Anna, con doble N. Anna Barghini. Roberto is working in a different company, but Anna is working. She's the CEO, the chief executive officer of the company. And Marta wants me to create a complete new universe of characters with their vida y milagros and all of their loves and their problems and their challenges. Yes. But she's a woman. Women like stories. Yeah. Men say irregular verbs, Richard, irregular verbs. Okay. Which do you prefer? Fun, interesting, fascinating stories or irregular verbs? Me? I prefer irregular verbs. Yeah? No, Marta doesn't want irregular verbs. Go, went, gone, come, came, come. Every day I go, yesterday I went. Every day I come, yesterday I came. Every day I see, yesterday I saw. Don't you prefer that? Or do you prefer Luigi Barghini? Or maybe a mafioso? He's not mafioso. But this guy, Luigi Barghini, looks like Sean Penn, I guess he's Sean Penn. And Marta's son, Victor, looks like Sean Penn in Pequeño. Yes. So maybe he'll grow up to be a mafioso? No? All right. Who knows? Where are we? Vocabulary. All right, vocabulary. Page. 189. Alianza. Alliance. Alliance. Fíjate en la pronunciación. Alliance. Alliance. Ahora bien, un aliado es ally. Se acentúa la primera sílaba. O la primera letra. Ally. Ally. Somos aliados. We are allies. I'm your ally and you're my ally. We're allies. And we have an alliance. Alliance. We have an alliance. Globo. Bueno, globo de aire que sube. Balloon. Yes. 5 weeks in a balloon. 5 semanas en globo. By, ¿cómo se llamaba? What was the name of the French? Jules Verne, Julio Verne. 5 semanas en globo. 5 weeks in a balloon. I don't know the words of the song, but I remember that part. 5 weeks in a balloon. Balloon también es globo de inflar. To blow up a balloon. To blow up a balloon. And then also you can have a balloon, in a basket, and the people, and the balloon goes up. You remember Phileas Fogg and Passepartout in Around the World in 80 Days. La Vuelta al Mundo en 80 días. Around the World in 80 Days. And the first part, they traveled by balloon. In the classic movie from 1958 with David Niven and Cantinflas, 1956. Yeah. The 3 actors were David Niven, Cantinflas, and I can't remember her name. La hermana mayor de el otro. I can't remember. Shirley MacLaine. ¿Te suena, no? Shirley MacLaine. Shirley MacLaine was unknown before that movie. She became famous thanks to that movie. And at the beginning, Phileas Fogg is in the Gentleman's Club in London. And he makes a bet, that he can go around the world in 80 days. And nobody believes him, so they make bets. The next week, he prepares to go. And he takes his servant, Passepartout, pasa por todo, Passepartout, who is Cantinflas. You remember Cantinflas. And the first part, they go up in a balloon and cross the English Channel to France, and they go to Chinchon in Spain. Yeah, in La Plaza Mayor, the famous square of Chinchon, and there's a bullfight. And of course, Cantinflas gets involved with the bull. Do you remember? And that's a very classic movie. And then they continue, and finally they reach India. And they land, and then in India, they are trying to burn the wife of a important Indian man who died. And Phileas Fogg and Cantinflas save her, and that's Shirley MacLaine. All right, alliance. So, balloon. A balloon. Precipicio, al acantilado. Terraplén, a cliff. Cliff. Yes, los blancos acantilados de Dover. When you cross the English Channel from Calais to Dover, you see the white cliffs. It's acantilados de color blanco. My father loved that. My father said it's the most beautiful sight in his life. La vista más bella de su vida. Why? Because my father was a pilot in the Second World War. And he had to fly missions over Germany, taking pictures. It was very, very dangerous. He had to fly alone to take, and then turn around and fly back. And there were German fighters chasing him. Fighters on cazas. However, his plane in vuelo plano was faster than the German Messerschmitts. And when he saw in the distance the white cliffs of Dover, he knew, I'm home. Ya estoy en casa. And he continued flying to Oxford because his air base was in Oxford, just outside of Oxford. The white cliffs of Dover, cliff, precipicio, también acantilados marinos, are cliffs. Cangrejo, nécora, buey de mar, todo, crab, toda la familia. And then we can specify sand crab, king crab, etc. But you have different words. You have cangrejo, nécora, centollo, y buey de mar. Y luego otros probably, But everyone has a different name. We just have a crab. All right, crab. ¿Cómo suena? Con B al final. Crab. Yeah, crab meat. Carne de cangrejo. Vergonzoso. Disgraceful. Bueno, shameful. Disgraceful. It's a disgrace. Es una vergüenza. It's a disgrace. Disgraceful. Disgraceful no es desgraciado. A disgrace no es una desgracia. A disgrace es una cosa vergonzosa. It's a disgrace. Yes. You're a disgrace to your nation. Tú has traicionado a la nación. Es una vergüenza para la nación. A disgrace. Y disgraceful es vergonzoso. Experimentado, experienced. O sea, experienciado en inglés. Experienced. Yes. He's an experienced person. Se usa mucho, I'm an experienced teacher. Soy un profesor experimentado. I'm an experienced teacher. Experience es una experiencia. Es una buena experiencia. A good experience. Ahora, experimentar. Hablar delante de la cámara. To experience. O sea, nosotros en inglés, to experiment es con tubos de ensayo, realizando un experimento. That's to experiment. Experimentar. Ahora, experimentar, estar en la cámara, es experienciar, decimos en inglés. To experience. Because it's not test tubes or similar with a laboratory experiment. To experience. And we say experimentado. Una persona experimentada is an experienced person. Tumba. Wow, grave. Sí, escrito grave. Grave. Tomb también existe. Tomb. Curiosa palabra porque se escribe tomba. Con O clara y B al final no pronunciada, muda. Tomb. Tombstone. Tomb. Normally we say grave. Cuando es una tumba normal, de cementerio normal, we say grave. Gravestone. Es la lápida. Gravestone. Tomb suele ser algo más tipo mausoleo. A mausoleum is a tomb. Who was buried in Grant's tomb? ¿Quién se enterró en la tumba de Grant? El presidente y el general Grant. Who was born in Grant's tomb? Okay. In Spanish you say, ¿de qué color es el caballo blanco de Santiago? Okay. We say, who was buried in Grant's tomb? All right. It's the same idea. Okay. So, tomb, but we say grave. My parents' grave. My parents' graves are in Bertram, Texas. My grandparents, my paternal grandparents' grave are in Bear Creek Cemetery in Bertram, Texas. Cementerio de Riachuelo del Oso. Mm-hmm. Bear Creek Cemetery. My maternal grandparents are buried in San Antonio. And their grave is in San Antonio. Grave. In un aprieto, I'm in a pinch. Antes, in a bind. In the previous list, estoy en un aprieto. I'm in a bind, I'm in a pinch. Pinch como pescar. I'm in a pinch, I'm in a bind. Nudo, knot. Con K muda, conot escrito, K muda. Knot. Esto no es un nudo, es un bolígrafo. Okay. This is not a knot. Bueno, contracción, this isn't a knot. It's a pen. knot, to tie a knot, to tie a knot. There are many types of knots. 100 nudos o 20 nudos, el barco. The ship is going at 20 knots because they hung a rope, una maroma, down into the water with knots every certain distance. And when the ship is going fast, the rope, you can see more knots. They're more visible knots when the faster the ship goes, the more knots you can see. Lo sabías, ¿no? You count the knots. You count the knots. All right, nudo, knot. Monopoly, como el juego Monopoly aquí. Pronunciation in English is different. Monopoly. How old, a monopoly is un monopolio. You see, for example, Telefónica tenía un monopolio hace años. Telefónica had a monopoly. Standard Electrica, ahora Alcatel, had a monopoly for equipment providers, and Telefónica had a monopoly and in the United States, AT&T, for many years had a monopoly in telephone service, a monopoly. Many years ago, CAMSA, during the Franco regime, CAMSA had a monopoly on the distribution of hydrocarbons, the distribution of fossil fuels, the distribution of gasoline and diesel, etc. CAMSA had a monopoly. Now, el juego de Monopoly would say to play Monopoly. I played Monopoly a lot when I was a kid. Quizá por eso llegué a ser empresario de éxito. Maybe for playing Monopoly. I played Monopoly a lot. I started playing Monopoly, I think, when I was 7 or 8 years old in Houston, I remember. And then in Tulsa, Oklahoma, later I continued playing Monopoly. I like to play Monopoly. All right. Ratero, carterista. Pickpocket. Pick is coger. Pickpocket. A pickpocket. You need to be careful for pickpockets. Men normally carry their wallet in their back pocket. And there's a button. You should button it if you go on the underground or in a crowded bus, because pickpockets are very adroit, very capable of stealing wallets. Be careful with pickpockets. Are there a lot of pickpockets in Madrid? I don't know. I have never lost my wallet in my life. I've never lost my wallet in my life. I've been very fortunate. I've been very lucky. I've misplaced it. No lo dejé. To misplace is mal colocar, o sea, literalmente misplace. Se me ha traspapelado lo habré dejado en algún sitio. But I've never lost my wallet. Never. I'm very lucky. A pickpocket has never picked my pocket. A pickpocket. All right, eliminación, removal. Es curioso, to remove is quitar, no es remover. However, the other day, 2 days ago maybe, I was watching television, and there was the president of one of the Central American countries, the president of El Salvador, Mr. Bukele. ¿Te suena? No. He was saying, vamos a remover a esta gente de la sociedad. O sea, vamos a quitar a esta gente de la sociedad y meterla en la cárcel. We're going to remove these, in English, diríamos, we would say, we're going to remove these people from society. And he said, vamos a remover estas personas. O sea, and I was surprised. So apparently, in El Salvador or in Central America, people have the verb remover has migrated to the English meaning. Of course, here in Spain, remover is remover el café, remover la sopa, etc. To stir, S-T-I-R, to stir. But apparently in Latin America, the verb has transmuted to quitar. Ahora, la eliminación de esto es removal, elimination, removal. Destornillador, screwdriver, conductor de tornillos, screw, escrito screw, screwdriver, todo junto, screwdriver, screwdriver. Screwdriver is also vodka and orange juice. It's a screwdriver. I don't like screwdrivers. You say destornillador. Strange, I don't know why. You say atornillador, you know. But you say it the opposite. All right, so a screwdriver. And finally, I'm out of time. I can't continue. But we'll stop after screwdriver, and I'll be back another day. Take care.